Here's another one. Bill, in the 70s, they were driving leaded gasoline. Remember? The difference may come from the lack of lead. Cars perform better on leaded gas. I appreciate that it's true that we are being manipulated by corporate America. So, well, then pick a side. I understand. Actually, I don't understand the difference between leaded and unleaded gasoline. I don't understand the difference of that. Okay? I guess that performed better, but unleaded was better for the environment. Okay? Scientifically, I can't explain why that is. But I'm also not a moron. And I understand, and I've read enough on corporations, and I understand how they fucking work. That's all about the bottom line. And every quarter, they have to show a profit or it's considered a failure. They can't even show the same profit. They can't even be like, we made $6 billion last quarter, and we made $6 billion this quarter. That's considered a failure. They have to go up to $7 billion. Now, at some point, you're going to exhaust all ethical ways of making money, and you're going to start delving into the world of fucking evil, which is, I think that they're up to their heads in it. I don't buy it. Anyways, Bill, love the podcast. This is such a great way to start. The reason the U.S. Camry gets 26 miles per gallon and the Pakistani version gets 39 is simple. Wait. It's simple. It's simple. Controlling the world's energy is a simple thing. The U.S. version has airbags, crumple zones, roll cages. A roll cage? It doesn't have a fucking roll cage, you moron. It might be structurally more sound. It doesn't have a roll cage and the fucking doors are welded, which adds 650 pounds to the weight of the car. Imagine the mileage you would get in your Prius with those fat twins. But you're an idiot. You're not an idiot. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. I refuse to believe that. Okay? You're just like me. You're a fucking regular person. You went up, you looked at some stats to try and support your fucking argument, just like I'm doing. But I'm sticking by this one. I know I'm fucking right on this one. I remember one time I had this old piece of shit truck, right, that I drove for like 10 years because I knew I wanted to be a comedian and I didn't want to go into debt. So when the engine finally died, I threw a new engine in there. And the guy told me he needed to rebuild the carburetor. I'm like, you don't need to rebuild the carburetor. So you know what this cunt did? He fucking adjusted the carburetor so I would just get shitty gas mileage, hoping I would be an absolute fucking moron and then drive back and be like, well, I guess you're right. I'm just chowing through gas here. That's what this motherfucker did at his little garage. This little piece of shit did that because it wasn't enough that he fucking made $1,600 fucking bucks off me. He wanted to make like fucking $1,900 bucks. So he did that just as a fucking individual. And you're going to try and tell me that a corporation that basically controls the world fucking energy is not going to buy up patents by people that are coming up with carburetors and stuff, like carburetors, but coming up with alternate ways of powering a car more efficiently. They're not going to buy that up. Dude, they have that whole Stanley Mayer thing. And that's not a conspiracy theory either. We actually played the news clip on the Opie and Anthony show. Stanley Mayer, great news for individuals, but bad news for oil companies. Claims he's come up with an engine that can run on any type of water. Fresh water, salt water, rainwater, doesn't make a difference. And he claims he can drive across the country on 28 gallons of water. This is of such interest, the Pentagon is sending a lieutenant colonel out there. That was the actual news clip from the Opie and Anthony show. It was an actual news clip. It's not some bullshit I read on a fucking website. Okay? Now, what happened after that, nobody knows. But basically, within 10 years, Stanley was dead and his car disappeared. And his brother right now is trying to get the car back and nobody knows where the fuck it is. All right? I truly believe that the quickest death sentence you could possibly have is to go on the news and claim that you've come out with an alternate source of energy that's going to put a corporation out of business that is projected to make $350 billion next year. How much do you think your life is worth? And if you have $350 billion, how easy is it, do you think, to get somebody to solve this problem. You can't have people getting free energy, all right? Because they're not going to work. If every time the fucking wind blows, I can watch another fucking 8 hours of TV, you know? Am I going to be putting in for overtime? Am I going to be working like a dog like these other goddamn people? You know? If every time it rains, I got enough fucking water to fucking drive all the way to goddamn Kansas City. I got enough water to drive to Kansas City and back. Do you think that they can have that? I'm telling you, if it rained oil, let's just flip this for a second. If it rained oil and it was a lubricant, but somehow it made the trees grow, I guarantee you whatever powered the cars would not be oil. Gas and oil, I guarantee you it wouldn't. It would be something else. They have to make it, they have to keep you away from it. Am I out of my fucking, I probably am out of my mind. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. I don't believe any of it. And I think anybody out there who's tried to climb any sort of like ladder of power, you haven't noticed that the higher up you went, the more compromised, the more you had to compromise what you wanted. My business is no different. It's no fucking different. The higher up you get, the more is at stake, the more money is at stake, the more the art gets compromised. Look at this shit. I can say whatever the fuck I want on this goddamn podcast. There's nothing at stake. I don't make any fucking money off of this shit. All right? But if all of a sudden I started getting advertising on this thing, right? Like a severe level of advertising to the point, let's say I was actually able to make $1 million a year off of this shit. And all of a sudden I'm going off on Jesus and that type of shit. And then all of a sudden some fucking advertiser goes, hey, we're going to pull the spots here. And your money is going to drop back down to nothing or whatever. Drop down to like $100,000 a year. You're telling me in my head I'm not going to start thinking like, well, maybe I won't say what I think about religion. Okay, that's just $1 million. Forget about $350 billion. And some douchebag on Long Island comes up with a fucking car that can run on water. You know, and that guy wasn't evidently willing to sell his fucking invention. I got to tell you this, people. If you're out there and you're working on an engine that can work on, somehow is powered by water, don't go to the news with it. All right? I don't know how to get it out there, but I'm telling you, if you were able to come up with something like that, and let's say on the sly you started building them, all right? There's no way to keep it a secret. And when the oil companies found out that you had it, there would be like Men in Black type vans pulling up to your fucking warehouse, okay? And they would be smiling, but they'd have that look where they're looking right through the back of your head. And at first they'd try to pay you off and buy the fucking patent. And if you didn't sell it to them, they would move to the next phase. And you would somehow mysterious, like the urban myth with that guy, Stanley Mayer, was basically, he was in a diner. He stood up, said, my God, they've poisoned me. He walked out in the parking lot and dropped dead. Shortly thereafter, his card with the invention in it disappeared. And now his brother's trying to find out what happened to him, which he never will. This is probably one of the craziest podcasts I've ever done. Am I freaking you guys out? Good. All right. Painters are coming here soon. Let's see if I got time for a couple of advice things. How about a question? Hey, Bill, big thanks to you. Big thank you to your parents for reproducing you. For reproducing and making me, is what I think you're trying to say. Reproducing me? Did they make it? Did they make another fucking me? What is your take on cuntism of Sharon Tweed? I don't know who that is. Oh, Shannon Tweed. She and Kiss frontman Gene Simmons were on the Joy Behar show, and she has finally reached her breaking point with her wandering wiener. With his wandering wiener. She has been his girlfriend for almost 2 decades. She knew and accepted his group sex lifestyle this whole time. Now that the kids are out of the house, it seems like she had these grand illusions that she could make Gene Simmons a one-woman man and is publicly acting out whenever he mentions the sex he's had with whore number 999 or 1000. Is this just like a broad or what? Yours in Christ, Eric S. Then he says, P.S. If I hear this on the podcast, I'll donate $49. Dude, you don't need to bribe me. Keep your fucking money. Anyways, what is my take on this? It's just a show. It's just a show. She's playing the part. She's acting like she's outraged. They're trying to have these media moments where she flips the fuck out because they're trying to get people to watch the show. Okay? Gene Simmons is not a good-looking man. He's actually a bizarre-looking man. And I think he doesn't even have the decency to use Grecian formula. I think he is just using straight-up shoe polish. Kiss has an inability to write a good song from the jump, which is why they have to wear all the makeup and have fire coming out of their balls. It's the Madonna thing. It's like if Madonna could actually sing and write a fucking song, would she really have to roll around on the floor like a fucking whore with half a pussy lip hanging out? Hanging out? Would she? I don't think she would. So what do I think? This is a complete media stunt. And I think Gene Simmons is an unbelievably insecure human being that he has to walk around talking about how many fucking women he's banged. You know? And actually, I mean, honestly, wouldn't you, at what point do you stop counting? You know? 878? Does he have a little diary? I don't understand the whole thing. But as far as like his girl going on there, I mean, let's just say that she actually loves this guy. And she's actually a functioning human being. I think she's an unbelievable trooper, and there's something fucking wrong with her. Like, why would you stay with somebody like that who's just been completely unfaithful, unless you've worked it out, which is I think she has. It's a complete business thing. She wants to be taken care of. He does. So now they have a new reality show out because God knows who gives a fuck about a 2011 Kiss album coming out. And them having to walk out in tight leather pants with their giant fucking heads. Nobody cares. I'm just trying to piss off Kiss fans. I don't give a fuck. Okay? I know the Kiss Army gives a shit, but the Kiss Army alone is not enough to keep a show on the air. So what they have to do is go on and just do this big media stunt where she's finally putting her foot down after he bangs the 2000th woman of his fucking career. So that's just a fucking media stunt. All right, advice. Oh, there's the painters. All right, I got to go. You guys hang on. I'm going to put this on hold here. Hold on. All right, false alarm. He's down the street at Home Depot. Yeah, I got a couple more things I got to buy. I don't even know what the hell I was talking about. Oh, yeah, it's just a media stunt. It's just all for the fucking show. You know? I mean, what actual relationship would play that out on television? That's just fucking bizarre. I've seen the billboard as I drive down Sunset, you know? You know, he wants to rock. She's ready to roll. You get it? Huh? He still wants to fuck around, but she wants to fuck. It's fucking Green Acres. That's all it is. You know? He's from the city, she's from the country. He wants to fuck, she wants him to be faithful. There's your conflict. That's basically when you sell a TV show. They always go, well, how are we going to get, 5 seasons out of this? How do we keep this going? We need more conflict between the characters. So there you go. They have the conflict. It's complete horseshit. And the show's going to stink. I can't watch Gene Simmons. He's an unbelievably insecure guy, and then he overcompensates it with a massive fucking ego. And it's uncomfortable to watch. How a man who looks like that. I mean, if I looked like... You know what he looks like? He actually looks like the male version of that broad that fucking Schwarzenegger banged. They have the same exact fucking head. You know, that Transylvania-looking fucking head. Like, like how even like a vampire kind of needs like a butler, And it's always some fucking weird-looking somebody with like a hunchback. That's what he looks like. Anyways, let's do one quick advice thing. Bill, I know you probably won't have any advice for this problem as I'm probably just fucked, but maybe if I type it out, I will feel better. Jesus Christ, look how fucking long this is. Sometimes I think people do this on purpose because they know I'm not good at reading out loud, although I feel I've gotten better. Anyways, my dog's staring at me. We're going to go on a hike later. You want to go outside? Yes, you do. All right, hang on a second. So about 5 years ago, I was living with my folks and working an hour away from home, saving money to move. I met a girl that was really hot, and I thought we had similar interests. Okay, there's a major red flag when you said I thought. The sex was great, blah, blah, blah. I started to realize that she was a bit of a jackass, but I wasn't quite as smart as I am now, so I stayed with her for a while. Of course you did. She's hot. She's also a single mom. Oh, Jesus. And just waiting tables. All right, dude, did this actually happen, or is this like a country song? I met this girl. She was really beautiful. Worked down at the diner, and she had a kid. I don't know how to read, so that's as good as I can do. Honey, why do we see the street when we drive the car? Did you sell the floorboards for more meth? I'll punch you in the stomach. I don't need another kid. Let's go smoke some meth with a cop. Anyways, she comes to me one day and asks me to co-sign a loan so she can go to mechanics school and get a job fixing cars. Uh-oh. Is she jumping on the other side of the fence here? Don't mean to be stereotypical. She said none of her family had any credit and that they couldn't co-sign. Like a total dumbass, I co-signed her loan. I told her that I would help her, but she would have to pay it all back, and I wouldn't help her make any of the missed payments. Oh, Jesus Christ. And your name is on it? So where's her fucking motivation there? Her credit's already fucked because she needs you to co-sign the loan. So she's basically on a sinking ship that weighs way more than your ship. You have a little rowboat, and you just tied it to the fucking Titanic. So what do you think is going to happen? I'm going to guess, everybody, that she's going to go under too. Time goes on. We stay friends, and I move out of town. She dates other guys. I date tons of girls, blah, blah, blah. Oh, so I guess the relationship ended. I'm finally getting my life together a few years later with a great new job. I've paid off my car. Dude, this is, oh, my God. And I'm finished paying off my college loan, and I start getting calls from the bank over $50 that she didn't pay before some deferment kicks in because she's back in school again. I send her a message on Facebook. What, so the whole world can see? Or you send, oh, message, okay. Telling her I don't want my credit fucked up, and I try to call her too. Amazingly, she changed her number. She stops answering my Facebook messages and deletes me there. Now, see, sir, the one from before, this is just like a woman. Right here. Used her pussy to suck this guy in, to vacuum some money out of his fucking wallet, and now she's walking away like the femme fatale she is. It's been a few months, and the bank was calling me every day. Now they are saying they will take money out of my paycheck if I don't pay up. I got a letter a day ago saying I owe them $15,000, and I have to respond in a month. I know I signed a piece of paper, so I don't really have any recourse. I was stupid for trying to help her better her life, and I think she's just trying to fuck me over, even though she told me plenty of times that that wasn't her intention. I get so fucking angry thinking about this. Dude, I feel for you, man. I mean, I can't imagine the thoughts that you're having. Please don't act on any of them. The stress of having a loan over my head that doesn't benefit me in the least. The fact that my credit might be fucked and mess up my future plans. The fact that I was dumb enough to try and help somebody, and it's just fueling this rage. This rage I feel to women for being lazy, manipulating sacks of shit. As much as I trash women, and I like doing it because I think it's funny, because it doesn't seem to happen on television. They're always shown as victims rather than this type of thing. It really is a particular type of woman. You know, they say a good man's hard to find. It's the same thing with the woman. What can I do? Let them suck money out of my bank account for a decade until I pay them back? File for bankruptcy? How would that fuck up my credit? Would it even wipe out the debt? I don't have a lot. A decent apartment, a car, maybe $1,000 in the bank account, and being unemployed for a while and finally getting a new job. After being unemployed for a while and finally getting a new job. Sorry for the long email. Love your podcast. All right, dude, I totally feel for you. I know I was breaking your balls up there. I didn't realize how this thing was going to end. Jesus Christ, what can you do, man? I would try to go legally at her so she just can't walk away, which is going to cost you more money. The last thing I would do is don't let it get to the point where they put it to a collection agency because it's going to fuck your credit. If it's a $50 payment, whatever it is, I would start making the payments, and then I would try to take some sort of legal action against her. That's what I would do. But in the long run, if you declare bankruptcy, you're going to put yourself behind the eight ball. I know it sucks, but a $15,000 loan, what are the payments on that? There's got to be, $100 and change? I have no idea. You kind of got to pay it, but I would definitely try to go as much as you can, go after her legally, and at the very least, drag her ass into court. But yeah, and this really isn't a woman thing because I've done this shit before. I remember I used to share this rehearsal space to play drums. And like an idiot, I came into some money and I paid ahead like 3-4 months just so I wouldn't have to deal with it because it was kind of a random bill where I didn't pay the actual rehearsal space. I was paying this other guy. So I gave this guy like $500 for, I don't know how many months. And, of course, all of a sudden, like a month and a half later, we lose the rehearsal space. And this guy, who at any moment when I owed him money and I was like, hey, where are you? He would immediately return my text. He just completely disappeared off the face of the fucking earth and never gave me my money back. And like the amount of fucking people who will do that to you, and it really has nothing to do with male or female. It's just people, they're fucking dirtbags. They're fucking dirtbags. Which brings me back to the fucking oil companies. If someone would do this shit over this amount of fucking money, I don't know. I know I sound like, I just really wish I could explain half of my points intelligently, because I really think that I'm right. That's one of the dumbest things I've ever said. All right, that's the podcast for this week. Congratulations to the Boston Bruins. I can't believe we won the Stanley Cup, and at some point, I got to get my ass to Boston. I got to see it. I've never seen it, never been up close to it. I went to the Hockey Hall of Fame. I guess it's there for a period of time, and I've never seen it, and I'm actually blown away. And like I said, my condolences to the Vancouver Canucks fans. That was an unbelievable kick in the fucking hockey balls to have to go through that. But obviously you shouldn't have burned down your city, and I know most of the people up there didn't do it, and I know 90% of the people don't condone that type of behavior. But I would like to know, people of Vancouver, people in Montreal, you stuck-up snobs, why do you guys burn down your fucking cities over sporting events? What are you really upset about? That's what I want to know, because I want to forward it to Michael Moore, so the next time he tries to make you guys out like it's like the Truman Show up there, he can maybe have a little more information and stop making movies that are as ridiculously to the left as Fox News is to the right. Okay, that's it. Go fuck yourselves. I will talk to you next week. Dude, I don't know what the fuck am I going to watch in sports? This is the worst time of year for me as a sports fan. The excitement of the NBA Finals and the NHL Stanley Cup Finals brings you to an absolute height, and then boom, it's over. I was talking to Paul Verzi. We were laughing about that shit. You go from this did you fucking see Dwayne Wade? Did you see Dirk Nowitzki? Did you fucking see this? Did you see that? Did you fucking Game 7 Bruins? You're losing your mind texting. And then all of a sudden it comes to abrupt halt. And it's ball one. I'll tell you, this kid just came up from Hershey. He's hell of a prospect. He's one of the best second basemen that the Milwaukee Brewers have had in quite some time. Oh, foul back 1-1. It's Hat Day coming up this Thursday. And now they might not even have a football season. Here's my prediction. If they don't have an NFL football season, college football is going to I think it could finally blow up in cities like Boston, which is not it's not a college football town. Well, I mean, we'll get into BC every once in a while, but we're just not into it because we have all these professional teams that are winning all the fucking championships. Sorry. I got to gloat a little bit. I think I've been quite a fucking gentleman. You know? Jesus Christ, a couple of things. Do you realize if our defensive back guessed the right way, could have knocked down that pass, that could have been another Super Bowl? You know, if those NBA refs a couple years back didn't decide to call 9,000 fouls on the Celtics and 2 on the Lakers, that we might even had another fucking NBA championship. We might have fucking won 9. But I'll take my 7. Go Cleveland. Let's go Padres. Let's go Brewers. I'm fucking rooting for all of you. I'm done. As I am fucking retired. I for at least 15 years. Not 15. For like 10. I'm stepping back for 10. I don't even give a fuck. You know something? I think at this point I'm so fucking happy. Even the Jets winning a Super Bowl wouldn't bug me. All right, let's not go that far. All right, guys, I'll talk to you next week.